Good evening. I'm Christopher Sullivan Diaz, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Despite the biggest victory of the season, the upset from number 6 Antrell Taylor at 157 was not enough, and number 6 Nebraska Wrestling's effort to win in front of a record crowd of 7,094 fans against the number 5 Oklahoma State Cowboys, where they took 6 bouts and 2 with bonus points to defeat the Huskers 6-3, 22-12 in Lincoln. Nebraska makes its second consecutive bowl appearance in the 2025 in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, where the Huskers will meet the Utah Utes on New Year's Eve day. And finally, the New Mexico Lobos and Minnesota Golden Gophers face off in the Rate Bowl tonight, where the Gophers currently lead 7-6 in the third quarter. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Rebound, Barricade brings it up. Boy, he's impressive bringing the ball up before, spins away from 2 defenders in the paint, behind the back pass, layup up and good by Sam! Oh, what a highlight reel exchange that was down the floor. 71-51, Nebraska by 20. Here's Barricade, 3-ball on the way, got it! Triple-double! Barricade Buchengel, the terrific Turk.
Still dribbling his sprints with 4, with 3 down the left lane liner, driving layup on the rim and missing. Bojan the rebound, back up at the buzzer, it goes in, and it counts. Petra Bojan at the buzzer gives Nebraska the lead.
Now, here is your host, Nick Hanley, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome into Sports Nightly here on a Friday night after Christmas. Hope everybody had a fantastic celebration with their family and friends and all of their loved ones here as we continue through the holiday season. It is a obviously fun time of the year. Gorgeous weather out there too. So I know some of those golf courses might be opening up a little bit if they haven't already, but what a great time. We just had Christmas. We got bowl games going on. And then of course we've got New Year's Eve where Nebraska football will be taking on Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. We're going to get some insight out there as the Huskers were traveling out to Las Vegas today. Now, if you heard from Matt Rule and the coaching staff throughout the last couple of weeks, they allowed the players to go back home and have some time with their friends and family, and then they could either be back with the team this morning and fly out, or they could meet the team out there last night and get situated, because as soon as this team hits Las Vegas, they're practicing. In fact, we're going to have a practice update as Jessica Coody and Damon Benning are out there, boots on the ground in Las Vegas, 5 practices before the Las Vegas Bowl against Utah. So we will be hearing from Jess and DB in segment number 2. Coming up in the show today, we're going to be talking also with a little bit of basketball, because we can't talk Husker athletics without the success of both the women's and men's basketball team, a combined 24-0, each team 12-0 respectively, one of only 3 programs in all of college athletics that have both their men's and women's basketball teams undefeated at this point of the season. So we'll get into some basketball. Jess had a chance to talk with Logan Nisley. We're going to play that for you here in hour number 1. And also coming up in hour number 2, we've got our college football picks. A lot going on, including the college football quarterfinals when it comes to the playoffs itself. So it's getting down to the thick of it. Looking forward to all of that and appreciate you all being with me, filling in. Nick Hanley here on the Huskers Radio Network. So it's now down to the big talking points when it comes to, when it comes to Nebraska and Utah. And I think we've all had a chance to really digest, process what college football is right now. And you go into these bowl games, sans the college football playoff games, and you understand that there are going to be decisions that have to be made by all of these student athletes, whether we're talking about the quarterback position, whether we're talking about offensive line, key positions there, guys that are making professional decisions on their career, or guys that are looking to possibly better their situation by continuing to play college football, but going to a different university. That's college football. And you could be here one day, gone the next. And I know it's been somewhat of a sifting through all of it to figure out what your actual roster is going to look like in the upcoming bowl game. I think we've all, at least I know I have moved on from the big announcement that happened a couple of weeks ago with Dylan Raiola that decided to hit the transfer portal. And so now you know that you have a unfamiliar situation that Nebraska is going into. And I don't say unfamiliar because it's TJ Lateef. We know he started a couple of games for Nebraska, but knowing that Dylan Raiola is no longer part of your football program. And also you're going to be going into a very big matchup and a game against an opponent that, quite frankly, Utah, as we know, is well accomplished this season. And we're going to get to Utah here in a moment because they've got their own little storyline going on that be interesting to see how that impacts them next week. But if you look at not having Emmett Johnson, now that provides opportunities for this other group of running backs, guys like Isaiah Mosey and Mekhi Nelson. I had a chance to talk with both of those guys a week ago, and you could tell they're obviously very appreciative of the time that they had with Emmett Johnson and what they were able to learn from him in a short time, but also the excitement that they have with this type of opportunity, knowing that they're going up against a very physical Utah team just collectively. Now, Utah, not as good as stopping the run as some of those Ty Whittingham teams have been. But if you look at a lot of what this Utah football identity has been, it's just been physicality. It's been physical on the offensive line. It's been physical on the defensive line. I mean, that's what everything that this Utah program under Whittingham has been. So knowing that you're going in with assortment of running backs that haven't got a lot of the bulk of the work anyway, going to be tested, but they're excited about it. TJ Lateef, as long as he's healthy, you know that he's excited to not have to worry about, well, you only have the job because of Dylan Raiola and because he got injured or anything like that. This is TJ Lateef's opportunity to kind of give you an idea of what that position, that quarterback competition, if there is one next year, could look like, and how that involves TJ Lateef. He gets a leg up on any of that competition. So it's a great opportunity for him as well. But then you take a look at not having Rocco Spindler, a guy who has battled through so much different pain when he had that broken finger against Minnesota. He's going to get right and get ready for his Senior Bowl so he can hopefully take that step forward for the NFL. But also Dasan McCullough, another guy that decided he was originally going to opt in, now going to opt out because, again, trying to get healthy so he can get ready for that next level. For the most part, when you look at Nebraska, now Dylan Raiola was never going to play in this game regardless if he was still a Husker or not. So you're going into this with, again, just like last year, not that many opt-outs. Now, the Utah side of this thing, we'll get to some of their big opt-outs here. And again, we're going to get a practice report from Jessica Coody and Damon Benning here in just a little bit. One of the interesting things now, if you were maybe away from some of the news wires yesterday when you were spending time with your family on Christmas and started hearing the rumblings about this at the beginning of the week, that we all know what's going on at Michigan. And we know that Kyle Whittingham had decided to retire. And that announcement was made shortly, I think it was about a week after they announced all the bowl destinations and matchups. And we thought, okay, you already knew Utah was going to be a really tough team. Now you got a Utah team that is going to be playing their absolute guts out for a coach that they really respect in Kyle Whittingham. Well, now it sounds like Kyle Whittingham could be the new head football coach for the University of Michigan. It sounds like that is being finalized right now. So if we're thinking of how Utah felt like, okay, we're going to send him out with a victory, but now all of a sudden you're thinking, well, wait a minute. He's not retiring. He's going to become the Michigan coach. That's got to be some mixed emotion right there. And so we'll see how this all plays out as far as the impact on this Utah team, because this was already a very ticked off Utah team. They felt like they were right there as far as being part of the college football playoff mix. Like they had such a good season. You're a 10-2 team. Nebraska is definitely stepping up in class when it comes to this bowl game. But to have that type of emotion of, yep, this one is for Kyle Whittingham, and now knowing that he's not necessarily retiring, but he's going to be the head coach for Michigan, I got to imagine that's going to have some type of effect. We'll see. Again, storylines galore in these things, as we typically see. But for Nebraska, I go back to this whole idea of this isn't a Nebraska team that all of a sudden has just been gutted with opt-outs and transfers. And so we go back to what Matt Rule has talked about a lot this last year, understanding the college football world that we live in right now, and understanding that there is definitely going to be, you have to be able to move forward with all of these decisions. And heck, we could find out tomorrow or the day later that somebody decides that they're not going to play. We saw that last year with Boston College and Nebraska played in the Pinstripe Bowl, and how many Boston College players decided to opt out, and it was kind of at the 11th hour. So you never know. But I think, again, for a team that didn't have as much success as they were hoping for, that this Nebraska team obviously wanted to surpass the 7-win mark. It's a team that had some success, but not as much as they wanted to, but you still are keeping a lot of this core intact. And so, again, as we try to figure out what to expect out of this game coming up next Tuesday on New Year's Eve out there in Las Vegas, very important to remember what some of the other teams are going through. Now, you've got a very key offensive lineman and defensive lineman. They're going to be out, the Fano brothers for Utah. Spencer Fano, he's the lineman of the year at right tackle. He's going to be out. And then he's got an outstanding talent of a brother who is also going to be opting out of this one too, a defensive end, Logan. So there's that. And then John Henry Daly just suffered, really good defensive end, suffered a season-ending injury as well. So Utah, it's still a very strong team. I'm not trying to downplay, but they will not be at full strength. But again, I just think with that Kyle Whittingham news in Michigan, how that will impact this team. It's going to be very, very interesting. All right, coming up next, we're going to be talking to Jessica Coody and Damon Benning as they will give us a live update out there in Las Vegas to see what's going on as the team arrives in Vegas, doing practice over at Bishop Gorman. It was basically touching down at McCarran Airport and getting right to practice. 5 practices out there in Vegas before the game on Tuesday against Utah. We will tell you all about that when we return with Jess and DB as we continue here. It's hour number 1 of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick,
Slate it, and F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Central Valley Ag is here to keep your animals healthy and thriving. Stop into the CVA Feed Store in West Point, Springview, Valentine, or Ainsworth with top brands like CVA Power, Purina, VitaFirm, and DuraFirm for cattle, pigs, horses, chickens, sheep, and even your dogs and cats. Enter by January 11th for a chance to win a $200 CVA gift card. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. but you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Central Valley Ag is here to keep your animals healthy and thriving. Stop into the CVA Feed Store in West Point, Springview, Valentine, or Ainsworth with top brands like CVA Power, Purina, VitaFirm, and DuraFirm for cattle, pigs, horses, chickens, sheep, and even your dogs and cats. Enter by January 11th for a chance to win a $200 CVA gift card. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Damon Benning. I'm Jessica Coody, and we are at practice currently at Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas. Hey, it was right on the plane, right to practice. It is right to work here in Vegas.
Yeah, the schedule and the setup is incredible, like the pre-planning. They're ready to go, they're organized. Some guys were already here lifting that flew in from other destinations, and so they're ready to go. But Bishop Gorman has been very accommodating. This is a fantastic setup for a bowl game.
I was going to say, what do you think about this campus for a high school?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, we've been out here a couple of times on the shoe circuit in the summer a few years ago, and so I kind of had a little idea of what to expect, but we didn't get to see the weight room and the facility. I mean, this place is incredible, but you can see why they play big-time high school.
So this is where the Huskers will be practicing all throughout the week leading up to kickoff against Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl. We will, of course, be here all week as well, providing coverage and content on all of our social media platforms, but did want to do a check-in here for Sports Nightly tonight. So first practice here, this is more of like the game week type preparation, right? They've, of course, been practicing and getting a lot of great work in with some of the young guys especially, but today starts really the really game prep type of practices.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll do a lot of situational stuff, and they'll treat this like a Tuesday, in essence, for a regular game week. So it'll be a good work week where they have to do a lot of install. You're trying to fine tune what you thought you were going to be able to implement late last week before the holiday break too. So I like the schedule, and it sets up well.
So we heard this time a year ago, of course, when the Huskers made it back to the bowl game, all throughout the practices leading up to kickoff in the Pinstripe Bowl, about how well it was, how good it was for the young development, and how it really is absolutely critical. I mean, you got to have these kinds of preparations and practices to be able to continue to develop, which is really important to Coach Rule. But do you get a sense of how that has gone this year for this group?
Yeah, I actually like it. We've got some guys that have signed that have early enrolled, so they get a chance to get their feet wet. But for the young guys, they're going to have an opportunity to play. It's more time to spend together. You get more practice reps, more camaraderie. The more time you can spend around one another doing protocol things like this, the better off you're going to be.
All right, so new additions to the coaching staff as well. We've been introducing you to them here on Sports Nightly, but a couple of them will be here in Vegas. A few will not, but you've been out to practices. They've been pretty impressive, just already getting involved and acclimated with this team. You can tell they're going to fit right in.
Yeah, the transition so far has been seamless. You know, the guys have really taken to the new voices, and the philosophy, I think Coach Rule was really intentional about what he wanted to bring in the building. And so I think the players have embraced it so far. You know, I've got my all eyes on the offensive line. Just seeing Jeep Wade and work with those guys, because that was such a tight-knit group. So I like what's going on with the new additions, and the coaches seem to be impressed too. So that's just as important.
When I went out to practice when you were there, you didn't even leave the defense though. You were paying close attention to the defense. What did you think of Bray Manning, Rob Orich, and the energy that they were bringing to the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, it was a big deal. I liked the teaching where there was a lot of eye-to-eye stuff where you're kind of kneeling, you're not talking down. Things like that I think are critical. You know, Coach Manning, you could see easily why he's regarded as an elite level recruiter. Just his ability to relate to guys and talk to them, I thought was pretty interesting. But I know one thing, if you're going to play defense for Coach Orich, you better be active and you better figure out how to be aggressive.
So we're going to dive into all the different position groups, talk to a number of the assistant coaches all throughout this week. But as we're here, standing here on day one, what position group intrigues you the most going into this matchup with some of the guys that aren't playing, some of the guys that might have opportunities to step up?
Yeah, I'm going right to O-line, D-line. If I had to put them in order, I go D-line 1, O-line 1A. Primarily because I want to make fun of Coach Rule coaching. No, but I like their intensity. I've watched them the last couple of days before the bowl break. Really, this the fundamentals, the intentionality of getting after how to play pullers, hand placement, splitting the difference between like 45 and 60-degree angles, things that I like, that people are like, oh, this is boring. But I'm telling you, for these guys to pay attention to detail and see actually what they want to achieve was pretty cool to watch.
Surprised you didn't go RB.
I thought about it, but so I'm like the guy that has to decide between his favorite kids, right? It's like EJ's not playing, so that's tough. You know, I'm a huge Mackay fan, and then Mosey, who he's like my key to the building. He lets me in every time I need to get somewhere, and he's so mature. So I'm excited, and I watched Williams tear up the place last week at practice too. So I forgot how much he'd played running back. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice stable. I'm excited to see those guys because they're hungry.
Okay, got an interesting question for you. So we did our picks earlier in the show, and Josh Helkeman, producer extraordinaire, always comes up with a question that he gives us every time we do picks and surrounding the Husker game. Okay. And the question that he posed this week was, okay, so over under 59% for the total game, so both Utah and Nebraska, that run pass, 59% is run.
I'll take the over.
Over?
I'll take the over. I don't know if that's high enough.
Really?
I probably would have put it in probably the low 60s. But I'll take over 59%. Let's say if Nebraska snaps it, 55 times, I think they're going to run it a minimum of 32 times. And I know Utah wants to run it. So we'll see. I mean, maybe Utah look a little different without the horses up front. I mean, a couple of potential first-rounders on that O-line. So, but I think their mentality is tough, grind you out football. So I'll take the over.
I also took the over because I also figured that QB run game could also factor in for the Huskers. Do you think TJ Lateef is going to be healthy enough to be able to utilize his feet in this one?
He looks fantastic. Before the show, I was downstairs in the weight room watching him lift and kind of get acclimated to the conditioning form of it. And he's put on some good weight where I think, not being as active allowed his body a chance to slow down a little bit, and while he's still lifting, able to grow a little bit. So he's probably up about 4 or 5 pounds from the last time I saw him, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have that long, thin frame like he does, it was pretty noticeable. He's put on some muscle.
Well, breaking news here, developing all throughout today. Kyle Whittingham, the head coach for Utah, sounds like he's going to be the head coach at Michigan, that it's pretty much a done deal, signing a 5-year deal, and sounds like also Utah's not going to allow him to coach in this matchup. Pretty interesting storyline developing here today.
What a bizarre deal. You heard rumblings, and it was either going to come down to maybe Braun potentially or Whittingham, but it got interesting last week when he said, I'm basically a free agent. And once he said that out loud, you had a feeling something was maybe in the works, and maybe Michigan, in fact, did get their man.
How do you feel like this could potentially affect this matchup here with Nebraska?
Well, it's got to be a little bit of a distraction. Now, to what degree, I'm not sure, right? It was this big send-off, and, it was his last game. And remember, before the announcement, this was supposed to be one of the things that was going to work against Nebraska. Send him out on a high note, and they're going to be so excited and win one for the Gipper kind of deal. And now, we'll see. I feel like it, again, to what degree, I don't know, but it has to be on the players' minds.
All right, well, how about the fit? Do you feel like that's a good choice for Michigan moving forward?
Yeah, if they want to win in the trenches, run the football, do Michigan things on the field in terms of the way that they want to play football, Whittingham's their guy. Good special teams historically. He puts guys in the NFL, and they're good in the trenches. That sounds like Michigan.
You were telling me like 3 weeks ago you tried to start this rumor.
I did. It was funny then, but now it's not funny. I was hoping somehow we could get the rumor mill started where it would be a distraction, and now it's come to fruition. I don't know. It's good for the profile of the Big Ten Conference, but I don't really cheer much for Michigan, so I don't really want to see them get a good coach, and I think Coach Whittingham is outstanding.
All right, well, again, going to be a heavy news cycle, I guess, here for the next couple of months, also including the transfer portal. It's crazy every day. There's multiple quarterbacks that are declaring for the portal, and obviously it doesn't even open officially till January 2nd, but have you been surprised at the number of quarterbacks in the portal this cycle?
Yeah, there's almost too many. I think some guys, we'll see how good of advice they get, right? Everybody's got a handler and an agent and people they talk to. And, well, a lot in a game of musical chairs, when the music stops, you better make sure you have a seat. So how it plays out will be interesting.
And obviously the Huskers are probably going to have to get one from the portal. What that looks like, we'll see. But I love what TJ Lateef's message was when he had his press conference last week about, hey, I want to compete. And that, just watching him on the sidelines, this whole season, even before he was a starter, you could tell he's a guy that's not going to shy away from any kind of competition.
Yeah, he's team charisma too, isn't he? Well liked, well received, super competitive. He just doesn't blink. And when you get guys like that are kind of unflappable, not only does it work well with you in crunch time and 2-minute warnings and things like that, but also from a competitive standpoint, Nebraska's probably going to have to get a couple of quarterbacks out of the portal, and I don't think it's going to matter to him one bit.
When we got a chance to chat with Pat Stewart back on signing day, just absolutely fascinating conversation, learned so much. But how do you feel, I guess, do you get a sense for how this might be attacked, the transfer portal, and what might be priorities, or is it just going to be, hey, let's go after the best and see how it stacks up?
Well, I think it has to start with fit, right? The way that, we listened to he and Coach Rule back to back, and they sounded a lot alike, right? So from a fit standpoint, I think the mental makeup, as much as you can gather, and the maturity has to fit what Nebraska's trying to do. They like their young core. They only want to supplement through the portal, so I don't think they're going to spend all willy-nilly. I think it's going to start with the fit. And then you have to take a look at positions of need. You've probably got to take a look at a running back. You've probably got to take a look at a defensive lineman or two. You'll get a couple guys through the offensive line in the portal. They're hard to come by, though. Those are premier positions. So Nebraska will have to do their due diligence, that's for sure.
All right, got to get pieces at pretty much almost every position, I guess. Kyle and I were having this conversation the other day, and we talked about maybe a couple that you feel pretty good about. is still in the secondary room. There's still a lot of young guys there that I know they're really excited about. And tight ends, you get Mark McWay back, hopefully. You got Carter Nelson coming on. They got some young guys in that room. I feel pretty solid about the tight end spot.
Yeah, and remember, we both like Luke Sorensen, too.
Yeah.
Coming out. Now, he's just a pup.
Yeah.
But he will have opportunity. He's got good size. He's an O lineman by birth, so getting the transitioning as an inline blocker won't be too tough for him. That's a good call. It's funny that you say that because I'm the guy that I love the tight end room, right? And I'm a big Coach Satterfield fan in terms of what he's done with their development too, and so that's definitely a nice deep position.
Okay, so put your GM hat on then. If you're making the call, what's your number one call for a position?
You got to go get a quarterback that can compete for a starting job. I think competition breeds really good development. It gives Nebraska some options. The room is thin, so I think you have to start at the quarterback spot, and then after that, I think it's a toss-up between O-line, D-line. I know people will really panic over the running back spot. They have a good young core. You maybe go get one veteran, but I'm not panicking over running back near as much as I'd start with quarterback and in the trenches.
Speaking of those running backs, and again, just it's one of those seasons, those special seasons that you had to keep feeding Emmett Johnson, right? But there's some talent. It seems like those guys are pretty excited about this opportunity here this week.
Yeah, and they're spirited. They're so competitive. Like just as a group, it's fun to watch. It brings back kind of fond feelings. And if they can get this culture, Jess, where you can cheer for your teammates and it may be at your expense, as in terms of maybe giving up some of your playing time, that's really when the magic happens. I've been in some deep running back rooms, and when you can cheer for other people and it's part of the culture, you're going to see good things. And that's kind of how these guys seem, at least as I watch them work.
And overall with the defense, with the change and John Butler being let go and Coach Snow taking over, how do you feel about how the communication's been, how they're preparing, and what the defense might look like?
Well, it's very simple, at least so far. Not so much scheme, but in terms of what they want. First of all, you got to communicate. Once you communicate, get lined up right, and then what's my assignment? You start with those basic three things, then it'll allow you to play fast, right? You can be a super athletic guy and really twitchy, and if you don't know what's going on, you can come across as a little slow, right? It's kind of like how I never know what's going on with what we do, right? I seem a little slow, but for the most part with Snow and these guys, move with pace and move quickly. That'll be a lot of it.
All right, so can't let you get out of here without talking some women's basketball because this is our final show of the week, and then Amy Williams' team, top 20 team, undefeated going into Big Ten Conference play. Big one, top 25 matchup inside PBA on Monday, so we will not have another show before Monday night. We'll be recapping that game, but they're impressive, and this is a big time match, a big opportunity for this team.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it's at home. The crowd's going to respond, and I've watched all of her interviews on the network, and she keeps it buttoned up, but you can tell she's super competitive. She's chomping at the bit. And that's how our team plays, right? They're going to guard, they're going to defend, and they got a chance to really start the year off right with a big one at home. I mean, both the women's and the men's. Michigan State comes to town for the men on the 2nd. This is a heck of a chance for this basketball program.
Isn't it funny how both Fred Hoiberg, Amy Williams, the nicest people you could ever meet, but also probably the most competitive?
Isn't it? And they carry it. Like, I wish I had, me, I get a little antsy and I'm like, oh, I want to compete. But with those two, it's almost like a duck, right? It looks real smooth, and it's probably, it's going like crazy underwater. But it is fun to watch the patience that those programs have been developed and grown with, and perseverance can pay off.
What's been more impressive for you in terms of Amy Williams and this women's basketball squad, the depth or the balance?
So the depth. Mm-hmm. They did a really good job of being efficient in the portal. The development of their young core has really come along. And Listen, I mean, when you're playing without one of your best, well-rounded players coming back off an injury, I think that was everybody's question. And so far, Nebraska hasn't seemed to skip a beat. The development of the youth and pinpointing exactly what the needs were in the portal have been nothing short of impressive.
Sometimes in hoops, people talk about a sophomore slump. Britt Prince has been absolutely impressive. And she just
the maestro.
So comfortable and confident and knowing when she needs to take things over.
Isn't it amazing, too, because you've watched her since she's been here, I think, and I've watched her since middle school, and I think the assumption would have been when you're as talented as she is that there's kind of this vocal barking, and she lets the game and the environment kind of come to her. She's patient, and she always looks like she's in control, and sometimes it's not by what she says, it's just by the command and the presence she brings. Her growth has been fantastic, knowing when to score it, when to distribute it, and you can see she spent some time in the offseason getting stronger too. Her frame is looking much better for a rigger in the Big Ten Conference.
And we've also seen when teams try to take her out of it, her teammates make them pay for that. So always a good sign as well. Yeah. Again, coming up on Monday, USC Nebraska top 25 matchup. 2 o'clock we'll have the radio call for you, and we're going to keep talking women's hoops coming up next. I had a chance to talk with Logan Nisley recently. We're going to bring you a portion of that conversation next year on Sports Nightly. Damon and I will be all across the Huskers radio network, Huskers social media platforms, bringing you coverage. We're going to talk to assistant coaches and players, bringing you exclusive coverage all throughout this week leading up to kickoff against Utah and the Las Vegas Bowl. All right, we got to step aside for a break. More Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at appliedconnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Shop Woodhouse Mazda during the Mazda More to Move You sales event. Receive 0.9% APR for 72 months, plus no payments for 90 days on all remaining in-stock 2025 Mazda CX-50s. Visit us in Bellevue or Omaha off 144th and Giles Road today. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra. When financed through Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number MM250911. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and man, it has been quite the start to both Nebraska basketball seasons. Both teams undefeated, both in the top 25 for the Nebraska women. 12-0 as they head into Big Ten conference play, ranked number 20. And a lot of that has been because they've got a lot of depth, a lot of players they can call on to step up in a number of different moments. And they've had different leading scorers and different people that have made big plays throughout the course of those 12 wins. And Logan Nisley is one of those, the sharpshooter that has delivered some big-time shots in a few of these wins. And so I had a chance to chat with Logan about a number of different things, including the bench mob. And that has also been a really impressive start to the season for this Husker women's basketball team. But had a chance to chat with her about the start and what has made this culture so special here with Nebraska women's basketball. So I wanted to go back to what you had talked about, just the passion and love for each other, because I feel like a lot of teams can say that, but it feels different with this group, and it really has been since I've gotten to know the program. And so I feel like that's something that's probably been established for quite some time. But take us inside of that. Why is it so different with this team and this women's basketball program?
Yeah, I mean, I know when I was being recruited here, culture was a big part of their message to me. And ever since I've been here, that has been something that we drill into every recruit that we have. When we are recruiting, that's what we talk about, is like our culture is the selling point. And just like we hang out with each other every day outside of practice. I mean, we see each other 7 days a week, like all year round. And so just being able, sometimes you would say like, oh, spending that much time with each other, you're going to get sick of each other. But we just have so much fun and we do different things all the time. And so just really leaning into our outside of basketball relationships, I think that helps us on the court.
So who takes on that, hey, planning of what we're going to do outside of basketball?
I think there's a lot of us. So our sophomores, Britt, Petra, Amaya, Kennedy, they all live in a house. And so that's where like our spot is, that like we'll go hang out with everybody. But I think it's kind of a group effort. If someone wants to watch the volleyball game or watch the football game or something like that, and we don't necessarily like want to go eat and do it, we'll just go to someone's house. And it really isn't like, it's not like, oh, I have to go hang out with my team. It's like, let's just go, like, we don't even have to talk to each other. Like, we'll just be in the same area, and yeah, it's great.
I think that's also why it works so well, is it's not like it's coaches encouraging you guys just naturally, you do it without being told to do it. And it's something that is
taken on and then you guys just continue it, right?
Yeah. Yep. We've talked a lot about being player-led as a whole. And so I think when we can take that outside of the court, that's what's making our relationships on the court so special.
Okay, so you've been here. This is your third season. Hard to believe already. We have seen what you can do, obviously, but what was your approach? What were some of the things that you wanted to improve on and contribute this year in your third season?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing is I just want to grow in whatever aspect that may be, whether that's offensively, defensively, whether that's off the court, leadership-wise. I just really wanted to make sure that like I was leaving an impact. Like you said, can't believe that it's my third year already. It's going by so fast. But just like really soaking it all in. I mean, this opportunity isn't given to everybody, but it's also not going to last forever. And so just thinking about that, obviously like I'm roommates and like Cal's one of my best friends, and this being her last year has made me kind of realize, oh my gosh, it doesn't last forever. And so just being able to soak in all of it and just kind of take it one day at a time, I think has made my approach this year really great. Obviously there's been ups, downs, whatever. And so that's kind of helped me through those.
We talked about this the last time you were here, but the injury situation has not been easy for you to battle through, and you even had some even earlier on in the season. For fans that don't know your story, I mean, you have to fight really hard to be out there. Why does that continue to be something that you want to battle through? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
when it's not easy at times.
Yeah, I mean, basketball has been probably one of the biggest parts of my life ever since I was little. And so just the love for the game has been like my motivation up until college. But then once I got here, it was just being able to fight for, you know, Allison and Nat, who don't get the opportunity. If they got the opportunity to fight through pain, I know they would, and I know they would give everything. And so just being able to do it for them, but also just like, I don't want to miss a game with Cal. Like I want to spend every moment I can on the court with Cal. Our seniors this year, I mean, we just have such a good group that it's worth fighting for. And I think like there's just no other place that I'd rather be. And so putting myself in a position that it's like, okay, well, I might have to do more recovery and treatment than others, but it's worth it. And I just think fighting for my teammates and my coaching staff and just everybody that pours so much time and effort into me as a person and me as an athlete, I think is my motivation now.
That's awesome. You know, I think you've brought up a couple of different things that I think would be an important message for other folks to hear, whether you're a fan of this program or even a young athlete. But the fact that this team is so good about embracing whatever is needed from them at any given moment. It's a team full of that. Whoever has a hot hand, whoever needs to be the leading scorer, whoever needs to be the leading rebounder, it's you embrace that. As an athlete individually, how do you prepare yourself for night in and night out, knowing and understanding what your role might be in a given night?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We've talked about this kind of we have team book studies, our coaches have talked about it, but we were all our best number one option in high school. And so just being able to come here knowing, okay, that might not be my role. It might be, but it also might not. And just being able to, we have a team first mentality. And coach talked about it after our last game of like, we have such a good thing going, and selfishness, one easy blow of selfishness could knock that over. And so just being able to like keep that unselfishness going of like, yeah, I might not be shooting my best, I might not be playing my best, but if my teammates are, I'm going to celebrate that. And we also talk about like, if something's not going well for me, how can I find a way to make something go good or like pour into someone else? Because that's what the team needs. And it's not all about me, it's about us. And I think we do a good job of that right now.
Again, that was Logan Nisley here with us for a Cornhusker Conversation. You can listen to that full conversation. It's out now on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel as well. And our Cornhusker Conversation is brought to you by Woodhouse. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Up next for Nebraska women's basketball, it is full speed ahead into Big Ten Conference play. And starting with a big one, it's going to be a top 25 matchup in Pinnacle Bank Arena on Monday afternoon, December 29th. The USC Trojans. Again, 2 o'clock tip. We will have the pregame show with Matt Coatney and Jeff Grease starting at 1:30 right here on the Huskers Radio Network. All right, got to step aside for a break. We are back to wrap up the show next.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Central Valley Ag is here to keep your animals healthy and thriving. Stop into the CVA Feed Store in West Point, Springview, Valentine, or Ainsworth with top brands like CVA Power, Purina, VitaFirm, and DuraFirm for cattle, pigs, horses, chickens, sheep, and even your dogs and cats. Enter by January 11th for a chance to win a $200 CVA gift card. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Hour number one, wrapping it up here on Sports Nightly on a Friday night. Glad you could join us. Nick Handley with you, filling in for the team as they have made their way out there to Las Vegas. Kyle Crooks making his way out. I believe he was spending time back home in New Jersey, and now he'll be out there in Vegas. As you heard, Jess and Damon are out there with the team as well. So it's back to business for not only our Huskers Radio Network crew, but also for this football team. Looking at this game again, the numbers for Nebraska, Utah, the line has stayed pretty similar to where it opened. It did come back in favor of Nebraska by about a point or two. But if you're into that sort of thing right now with looking at the line, if that gives you an indication one way or the other, or how Nebraska might fare against Utah, it's still sitting there at about 14.5 at last check in favor of the Utes from Utah in the Vegas Bowl. Looking forward to, we're going to talk about this in hour number two as well with the entire crew and all the picks, but there are some great games going on around just the college football playoff quarterfinals too. And we'll make sure we give you all of those picks. We'll have the big dog, Jeremiah Searles, in hour number two with that, with Jess and everyone making their picks. I'll give you mine before we get out of here as well. In hour number two, just around the corner, I want to get into some Husker basketball, both men's and women's. It's a fantastic start for both Fred Hoiberg and Amy Williams, 24-0, one of three programs that are undefeated in both their men's and women's basketball program. And that schedule starts to really ramp up in the new year. We'll tell you all about that. Also, as I mentioned, we'll have our picks and plenty more coming your way in hour number two here of Sports Nightly. Don't go anywhere.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
Great time to buy Ranger, Maverick.
Slate it. And F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus zero down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Central Valley Ag is here to keep your animals healthy and thriving. Stop into the CVA Feed Store in West Point, Springview, Valentine, or Ainsworth with top brands like CVA Power, Purina, VitaFirm, and DuraFirm for cattle, pigs, horses, chickens, sheep, and even your dogs and cats. Enter by January 11th for a chance to win a $200 CVA gift card. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Good evening. I'm Christopher Sullivan Diaz, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Experience Advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. In Nebraska Wrestling's record crowd of 7,094 fans, the number 5 Oklahoma State Cowboys took 6 bouts and 2 with bonus points to defeat the Huskers 22-12 in Lincoln. Nebraska is making its second consecutive bowl appearance in 2025 in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, where the Huskers will meet the Utah Utes on New Year's Eve day. Finally, the New Mexico Lobos and Minnesota Golden Gophers face off in the Rate Bowl tonight, where they are currently in overtime, and, well, looks like the Lobos won 17-14. Finally, our sports ticker is brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Rebound, Berkay brings it up. Boy, he's impressive bringing the ball up before, spins away from 2 defenders in the paint, behind the back pass, layup up and good by Sam! Oh, what a highlight reel exchange that was down the floor. 71-51, Nebraska by 20. Here's Berkay, 3-ball on the way, got it! Triple-double! Berkay Buchengel, the terrific Turk.
Still dribbling his Prince with 4, with 3 down the left lane liner, driving layup on the rim and missing. Bojan the rebound, back up at the buzzer, it goes in, and it counts. Petra Bojan at the buzzer gives Nebraska the lead.
Now, here is your host, Nick Hanley, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hour number 2 here is Sports Nightly. Glad you're with us here on a Friday night. Nick Hanley filling in for Kyle and Jessica as they are out there in Las Vegas in preparation for the Las Vegas Bowl, which will take place on New Year's Eve on Tuesday. I should say Wednesday, New Year's Eve. Will be the game. It'll be a 2:30 kickoff. Of course, our coverage right here on the Huskers Radio Network will begin at 10:30. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Talked a lot of football there in hour number 1. Again, the Las Vegas Bowl. You'll get some college football playoff games all taking place on Wednesday on New Year's Eve. And then, of course, you get the granddaddy of them all, college football playoff quarterfinal, Rose Bowl, and some other games on January 1st as well. So we're getting down to it when it comes to some of the better bowl games, but also the college football playoff quarterfinals, which are going to be very, very good. But I want to get into basketball here for the next couple of segments, because if you would have told me that we would be heading into 2026, where I typically don't take a look at the net rankings this early, let alone see where Nebraska is this early. But I got to say, you're looking at a Nebraska basketball team that is up to number 11 in the net rankings when it comes to the men. And the women aren't far behind as well. You're looking at 2 top 25 teams in both the men and the women. Women moved up to number 20. The men have moved up to number 13. Nebraska just on the outside of being a top 10 team in men's basketball right now, where the women are a solid top 20 team. And I mentioned this in hour number 1. When we think of all of the success that both volleyball has had, we know the success that we'd like to see this football program reach again, getting back to that level as we saw so often in the 80s and the 90s. Basketball is something that I think we always appreciate when Nebraska is relevant, whether it's on the men's side or the women's side of this thing. But looking at what Fred Hoiberg and Amy Williams have put together in the first round of games here before we get to 2026 has been nothing short of impressive. And they've been doing it in a very similar way, where you're seeing really solid defense. You're seeing at times just lights out offense, especially the women's side that are putting up huge numbers. But also you've mixed in some pretty quality competition here and there, and especially on the men's side. And this schedule for Nebraska, for the men, and we knew that there was going to be some challenges early on when you had say, Kansas State, when they're going out to Kansas City and possibly playing Kansas State anyway, if they made it to that championship game, you knew you're going to be playing Creighton and Lincoln. And that Creighton team at the time still trying to figure themselves out, but all of a sudden Creighton has been able to put up some big numbers in their last couple of games too. So that win is looking even better and better. And obviously Nebraska fans are not going to care how good or bad Creighton is. You beat them and you beat them soundly. You're going to be very happy about that. But then you look at, and obviously the signature win this season was that walk-off winner against Illinois on the road in Champaign, where Nebraska built this great lead, and then they see that lead diminish to where Illinois ties it up, and you're thinking, okay, well, that was a valiant effort. And then Jamarcus Lawrence nails that three as regulation expires, and Nebraska has now a huge road win in conference play. They will host Michigan State coming up here in the next week, which is going to be awesome to see, and that's a top 10 team. So the opportunities continue for Nebraska to strengthen their resume. And I think this is where I want to get to the women's here in a bit in segment 2. But for the men's team, I don't know about you guys, but are we at that point right now where we're not looking as much at the resume as we are wondering how truly high of a seed this team could get in the NCAA tournament? Because, and that's not, I don't think that's being unrealistic. I think when you look at Nebraska's basketball schedule so far, that even on some off shooting nights, and they had one against North Dakota after that big win against Illinois, but even on some off shooting nights, this team has found the right recipe. In other years, you would see if you're having that off shooting night, that it gets completely contagious and there's just no way out, where Nebraska ends up hanging an L. But they've got at least enough to where they're finding ways to win basketball games. I think there's that part of it, but they've also got, at least in my opinion, 3 very quality wins that are going to age tremendously for them, that you can already point to that this early in the season and say, well, we went on the road and we beat one of the better teams in the Big Ten, and we were really controlling them for a good majority of that game. I think the Wisconsin game, where Nebraska just blew the doors off of them, especially in the second half, that was a statement as well. This Michigan State game is another great opportunity, but I'm not as concerned about looking at their resume anymore, which is crazy. I'm looking at least asking the question, could we see Nebraska as a 3 seed? Could we see Nebraska as a 4 seed? Because the work they put into this point, and if they can kind of just be steady throughout the season, not only do I think this Nebraska team is an NCAA tournament team, but this could be a team that could reach a pretty high seed. We'll see. I think this is a fun story, but it's gone beyond now of, oh, good for them. I think you just look at the way this team is built around, like Rink Mass. You look at Sam Hoiberg, his contributions, which have been huge. Jamarcus Lawrence, getting him back, I think has just been outstanding. He's been such a good player. But then you've gotten so many different contributions, and a lot of this happening with Connor Essegian out, who I thought if Nebraska were to have great success, Connor Essegian had to be a part of it, and he's out for the season. It's a great story, but they're not the only one. The women's basketball team has been fantastic as well. When we come back, I definitely want to get into what the women have done here in 2025, going into 26, because also 12-0, also a top 20 team as well. And Britt Prince has been spectacular as well. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. When I come back, more on the women's basketball team and some more college football talk. We still got our picks coming up as well. Don't go away.
And sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official Internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Wrap Up the Year sales event. Lease the 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn for $299 per month, backed by America's best-in-class full-size truck powertrain limited warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. 42 months per 5,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax, title, license extra for well-qualified returning lessees. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number BC250821. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of, and Blue believes in you.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Nick Handley with you here on Sports Nightly on a Friday night. Jessica Coody, as you heard in hour number 1, and Damon betting out there in Las Vegas. Kyle Crooks joining them as well. So that is where the team is tonight, and they will have updates throughout the week leading up to Wednesday's Las Vegas Bowl on New Year's Eve when Nebraska takes on Utah. So getting ready for that one. Again, that game will be kicking off at 2:30 on Wednesday on New Year's Eve, and then the pregame coverage right here on the Huskers Radio Network will begin at 10:30. Also on the Huskers Radio Network, hopefully you've been enjoying some Husker basketball. On Monday, the 29th, Nebraska will be back in Big Ten play as they will welcome in USC, and that will be a big one. Nebraska at 12-0. 2 o'clock tip-off. Pregame coverage begins at 1:30 here on the network. And as I was talking about this Nebraska team, much like the men's basketball team where you can point to some solid wins. Now, I think the men have a few more of those signature wins, but both teams have a tournament win, a tournament championship. Of course, the women were in the Emerald Coast Classic where they were able to take down Virginia in a slugfest there. That was an impressive win. They not only handled their first Big Ten Conference road trip, but they did so by hanging triple digits on Penn State, winning that one 101-83. And it's just been an offensive barrage for Amy Williams and this team so far. So if you look at what this team has done to get to 12-0, much like the men, this has been much more of a blistering offense if you look at how things have worked out. And I had mentioned that Britt Prince was essentially the catalyst of this team, and we were all very excited to see what year 2 would look like for Britt Prince, and she has not disappointed. But again, you have gotten a lot of that production with Amaya Hargrove, who is averaging a little more than 12 a game. Jessica Petrie has been very solid with a little over 12 a game as well. And so Callan Hake over 8. I mean, it's been spread out really well. You heard from Logan Nisley in hour number 1, and she's putting up a little bit more than 7 points per game. But it's just understanding what type of team that you are. And I think Amy Williams knows that she's got shooters on this team. They've done such a good job of creating opportunities for a multitude of scorers for this season's team, and with what they can do, and maybe I should say the things that maybe that they're unable to do, or maybe where you do lack a little bit of that solid post scoring like you had with Alexis Markowski in previous years. You're able to find that perimeter game, and it's been that type of flow offensively where when you get a lot of attention on a Britt Prince, that you can see someone like a Hargrove step up. You can see someone like a Petrie step up and be able to knock down those shots. You know, Britt Prince, if you look at her 3-point attempts this season, it's maybe not as many as you think at this point right now. She is far from the leader on 3-point attempts. She's knocked down 17. She's put up 35, but you've got Callan Hake, who's put up 50. You've got Jessica Petrie, who's put up 41. Even Amaya Hargrove has put up 20. Logan Nisley's put up 34. So it's been that's the thing I've liked about Britt Prince in her game, going from last year to this year, is she has been very creative. And I think she has built that sort of inner toughness where you're seeing her finish at the rim. You're seeing her find the jumpers, those high percentage jumpers around the elbow, and she's knocking those down. But again, her toughness getting to the rim and this entire team's ability to work within the system that Amy Williams has been impressive. Now, the one thing, again, and Amy Williams has talked about it too, and trying to step up that defensive pressure, knowing that as they get into Big Ten play, that's going to be a big thing. They feel confident where their offense is. It's how good they can be defensively. If they have to play in a game where they're forced to, be in the 50s or 60s, do they have the defensive acumen to be able to do their part where they're also holding up their end of the bargain and they can be competitive there? But this has been such a cool start for both of these teams that I think you just look at the overall excitement level. And that's not to say that people aren't excited Wednesday for Nebraska football and taking on Utah. Obviously, this is a football state. And it's also, I think goes without saying that the disappointment of this Nebraska fan base that the women's volleyball team didn't make it to the Final Four. But I think what basketball has been doing on the men's and women's side has really softened the blow of what those teams, unfortunately, were unable to accomplish in their own ways of success. these basketball teams have been a nice little outlet here, and a lot of attention now going to be fully shifted onto the men's and women's basketball teams in Nebraska because they've been so good this season. Speaking of football, we're going to shift over to that. We've got college football playoff quarterfinals. We've got some really good bowl games, other bowl games going on that we will have involving some SEC teams, Big Ten teams, and more. Our picks are coming up here on Sports Nightly.
M Grills and Blazing Grill Works manufactures wood pellet and charcoal grills right here in Nebraska. M Grills Nebraska-made grills are fighting the battle against cheap disposable box store grills by focusing on quality and longevity. The all-American made parts and heavy steel construction means you can cook reliably all year long, year after year. Support Nebraska manufacturing and get out of the disposable grill game with a high-performance grill from M Grills. You can find them online at mgrills.com. That's M as in Memorial, grills.com. Proud supporter of Husker Athletics.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick,
Slate It, and F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus zero down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Redefine your luxury car buying experience with Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Receive 1.99% APR for 60 months or 2.99% APR for 72 months on the full lineup of 2026 Genesis GV80s. Visit us online today. With approved credit, tax title license extra, when financed with Genesis Finance, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires January 2nd, 2026. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
You show up for every Husker game because it's about more than football. It's about celebrating that Nebraska grit that's in our DNA. That same drive pushes you to get stronger, move more, and take care of yourself. To show up for the people and moments that matter most. We believe you have what it takes. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska covers preventive care with every plan. And our digital tools help you stay on track every step of the way. Blue believes in what you're made of. And Blue believes in you.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time.
A great time to buy Ranger, Maverick,
Slate It, and F-Series.
America's best-selling trucks for 48 years. Let's light them up.
Now that's some holiday power.
That's Holiday Pro Power onboard.
It's like a mobile generator.
Get 0% limited term financing plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days on select Ford vehicles during the year-end sales event at your Midwest Ford dealers, driven by value.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by
Akrs,
the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more.
Akrs,
solutions for every field. That's right. He's back. The big dog, Jeremiah Searles, in his blankie in his basement. He's back after missing last week. The guys had to hop in. It was like a unison kind of Akrs because you weren't here to do your
That's
role,
fine.
but we're glad to have you back.
It takes many to pick up my pieces. I understand.
It's true.
Well, Merry Christmas. How was it?
It was great. Yeah, I mean, kids have been up at 5:30 2 mornings in a row with just ready to rock and roll. I smoked a prime rib that turned out awesome, which I was super excited about. Friends with family and kind of regrouping here. This is the last week that I have before I travel every week in January. So just gonna soak up this last week here before things get real crazy for me.
Did Santa make an appearance?
Oh, of course. Santa always makes an appearance here at the house. I got a wonderful vacuum and bed sheets, what I always wanted. As always, it's exactly what I was asking for.
And did Santa eat the cookies?
I mean, Santa doesn't leave clean plates? What do you mean? We teach Santa's a jolly old fella. You think he got jolly by just not eating all the cookies and milk?
Oh, well, it is a time to make our picks for the week, but it's going to be college football playoff picks, bowl picks. Searles was missed last week, but Kyle's missing this week. Camden Cone back from Mexico. You can see his golden glow that he has. He avoided the sunburn.
Sure.
And Josh Hilkeman also had a busy weekend or week with the kids celebrating Christmas. So we're back, and I guess maybe by the next time we make picks, maybe we'll all be together. Who knows? We might have had our last segment that we were all together. But Kyle was about to dock you points, Searles, if you were going to miss 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, well, I would have came and docked Kyle if he would make me points. So,
well, let's revisit last week, shall we? So the interns were the weekly winners. They go 6-2. The rest of us, not the best week. Myself, Searles, Josh, we all go 5-3. Kyle, Camden, and Nick go 4-4. Camden, I'm coming for you. But with those results, we again were jockeying for the battle at the back. I mean, Kyle had moved back off the bottom, but he's back at the bottom. He's in last place again. So Josh now 114 and 60 overall. Camden 9 games now behind Josh. The interns and me, we are a game behind Camden. Searles is 2 games behind us. Nick 99 and 75, so 3 games behind Searles, and Kyle bringing up the rear at 98 and 76. So Kyle was feeling pretty good about himself after the college football picks and the first couple of games, and then he ended up losing the last 4 to go 4-4.
Hate to see it, Kyle. You hate to see it, and you're not even here to defend yourself.
Hawaii Bowl will get you.
Yeah, well, how about the Hawaii game? I had picked Hawaii, and they had to come back from down big to end up winning it. But that was it never disappoints. It delivered on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're getting with these early bowl games. Teams that you have no idea, like who's playing, who's in the portal, who's doing what, like who's that? I mean, these early bowl games, even these bowl games coming up, you're like, I don't even know who's playing in some of these games. So you're trying to make a pick of like maybe that redshirt freshman that was a 4-star recruit 2 years ago can play. Who knows?
Well, let's recap the college football playoff. How about Miami knocking off Texas A&M? Camden and I both had Miami, but that was a defensive struggle, Searles.
Yeah, I mean, good game or bad game. I don't know. I was watching it, like, I can't tell if this is like a really fun defensive battle or just 2 teams playing like dog crap. So I was unclear. The wind was crazy. Obviously, I know that played a huge factor in it, but I still think A&M is probably the more talented team that was on the field that day. Miami just capitalized on more mistakes.
And Bama comes back to beat Oklahoma in Norman. Camden and I both went with the Sooners. And we were feeling pretty good about ourselves when we left the studio on Friday. And sure enough, they choked it off.
Kyle just kept telling us it was early. And then we're like, oh, yeah, it is. But Oklahoma's up. And then it flipped. So then when Kyle texted in our group chat, I had to say it was still early. And then it was too much.
Sooner.
Well, listen, you were not here to ring the bell because I did pick Oklahoma because everybody was picking Bama, and I hate when we all pick the same. So I actually went into the week thinking I was going to pick Bama.
Some of us snowball, Jess. Some of us snowball.
Hey,
okay.
Scoreboard, Cyril. Scoreboard. Scoreboard.
Don't get sensitive.
You have not beat me in the 3 years that we've played, so come at me when you beat me a year, okay?
Listen, don't be defending Oklahoma like this. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. Well, and then the other games, complete runaways. I think you would post it on your X that please don't ruin my college football playoff.
I'm so done with these group of 5 teams. Listen, we love you. We thank you for your service, but go win your own natty. Don't ruin my playoffs. I don't want you in here. I want more Bama, Oklahoma type games. I don't want James Madison and Tulane to get a participation trophy and get ran out of the stadium. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's make some picks. We've got some other bowl games before we get to the college football playoff quarterfinals. Let's start with the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, the game that Nebraska was in last year, but it's coming up tomorrow, 11 a.m. on ABC. Penn State and Clemson. Clemson is a 3.5-point favorite. Cyril, since you were in a tie for the top of the leaderboard, we'll let you go first in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Clemson here just because I think all of Penn State's O-line is declared for the NFL draft, and I'm not sure how many of them are actually going to play on that regard there. So I'm going to go Clemson here in an upset because I think Penn State's probably favored to win this game. So I'm going to go Clemson.
Clemson is actually favored.
Okay, then I'll take the favorites here. Give me Clemson to go beat Penn State in the Bad Boy Mower Bowl.
And Josh, you have Kyle's picks too?
I do, and he's also taking Clemson.
Okay, and what do you got?
I've got Penn State. I think that I'm going to give the edge to them. They have the home field advantage. They're from that area, so they'll get the boost from that big crowd at Yankee Stadium.
Sure. Yeah.
No, I have no idea. That's just a gut feeling.
Sellout crowd, baby.
Oh, I am going with Clemson as well. Camden?
See, I don't know either, but
nobody knows.
I'll take Clemson. Yeah, I haven't picked them all year, and they keep winning. So I'll choose Clemson, knowing that Penn State will probably win, so Josh will be another point.
Also full knowing that they haven't done any portal work, like at all. They have put zero effort into any transfer portal work, and so they're just waiting until July. So it's like, okay, well, you've been doing all bowl prep, so hopefully you do one of those things right, because I can tell you one of them is not the correct way to do things.
Mm-hmm. Josh is waving that Big Ten flag solo in that one.
Coaching change too, though.
Out on a limb.
All right, this is a fun one in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, not only because of the matchup, but also because there's lots of shenanigans that they do with all the Pop-Tarts. They eat them. They're massive mascots. I don't know. It's crazy. But Georgia Tech ranked 22nd going into this one, and BYU just left out of the college football playoff after losing in the Big 12 championship, so they're ranked 12th. But 2:30 on ABC tomorrow, BYU is a 4-point favorite. Josh, who you got?
Yeah, I have no data to support this, but I feel like BYU usually it feels like they're motivated going into bowl games, so I'm just going to go off of that and say that they win this one.
Who's Kyle got?
He also has BYU.
I think I'm going with BYU because I think they're going to be pretty fired up to play this one. The coach is coming back, so I think they're going to have a lot of pride and want to show the world that they should have been in the playoff. Camden?
Yeah, I think I like BYU. Getting their coach to come back, I think's big, and I think they'll want to show that was the right move.
Charles?
Yeah, clean sweep it here. Give me the BYU team. I mean, again, I think a lot of us do. When you're a coach and you get extended like that, you're going to want to put a polished product on the field right after that. You don't want to go out there and drop to Georgia Tech after pounding on the door of we belong in the playoff and give me my money and, we didn't look prepared or ready to go. So I think this coach has that team ready to play.
All right, LSU against Houston, 8:15 on ESPN. The Texas Bowl, Houston actually is a 2.5-point favorite. LSU has all kinds of opt-outs. We'll see when you talk about that 4-star third-string backup. This is going to be LSU, which apparently they have the talent. We'll see it. We'll see if they have it coming up in this one. Kyle, I have him picking first of this one. Josh, who's Kyle got?
Kyle has Houston.
Kyle has Houston. You know what? I also have Houston. Camden?
I'll pick LSU. Why not?
Oh,
why not?
Interesting.
Definitely.
Searles?
I'll pick one up on you here. I'll take Houston as well. I think LSU, as much as they're trying to get their life together with Kiffin and all that, just too much nonsense happening for right now. Kiffin doesn't even care about this game. He's more focused on the transfer portal anyways. So I'd be shocked if he even showed up. So yeah, I'm going to go with Houston.
I got to go with the Texas team in the Texas Bowl. That's
Right.
my reasoning on this one. Houston.
You're a big home field advantage guy. Yeah,
there's
it
no
is
one-
at night. It's not in Baton Rouge, Jess, but it is at night. So I don't know. LSU at night, kind of 2/3 of your rule there.
LSU is close to Texas, though.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Will they
It's
be
not
traveling?
far.
It actually might be closer to LSU's
I mean,
fan base.
they'll
than
have like 4 of the
Houston's.
8,000 fans there. I think will be LSU.
Well, let's see what Josh does in this one
Oh, boy.
because this is also could be a hometown or a home crowd favorite. Who knows? But the Valero Alamo Bowl, we've got a Texas team, TCU, taking on USC on December 30th, 8 o'clock on ESPN. USC is a 6.5-point favorite. Camden? Oh, actually, I missed one, but let's go ahead and pick this one. You're first. I'll go back.
So still the USC
Yep.
one? Okay. I got USC. Can't go with the home team for this one, Josh. I'm pro USC for this one.
Okay.
Searles.
I'm gonna go USC here as well. I think Big 10 over Big 12 in this battle.
Josh, you sticking true to your argument?
In this one, I am. Yeah, I'm gonna. I think the wrong team is favored. USC is it feels like a classic case of a team that's not going to show up in the bowl game. They're over their season. They're done. TCU is going to show up. So give me the Horned Frogs.
And Kyle has
USC.
Kyle has USC. You know what? I'm going to copy Josh. I'll go with Josh. All right. Going back as I skip this one. Tennessee against Illinois in the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, 4:30 on ESPN on Tuesday. Tennessee is a 2.5-point favorite. This is the bowl that Nebraska was considered in. I know it was one of the ones that having a lot of conversations to have the Huskers in, but it is Illinois getting the Big Ten nod in this one, taking on the Volunteers. And I am up first, and I am going to go with Tennessee, the home crowd, Josh.
Yes, exactly.
Camden?
Yeah, I'll take Tennessee as well. Seem a little bit more talented than Illinois.
Searles?
Yeah, I think Tennessee's got a lot more talent. Also, Illinois for me this year just did not live up to expectation. I felt like whenever I watched them, I expected them to be better than they were. And I mean, this is a team that Tennessee, I think we talked about it at the end of the year, a lot of their losses are teams that are in the playoff, like very talented across the board. So yeah, I'm going to go with Tennessee as well.
Josh?
There's too much orange for me in this one, but
orange.
I think that Illinois seems like the right shade of orange. I'm going to ring the Big Ten bell, not the home team bell in this one.
Oh, okay. And Kyle has
Tennessee, so I'm swimming upstream on this.
Wow, you kind of are going out on a limb on a few of these.
He's got 9
regular
games to
season
play with.
He's really
champions.
trying to clinch at this point.
Yeah, he's got 9 games to play with here.
Going
He's
for the
all right.
jugular.
All right, New Year's Eve kicking off before our game, the Iowa versus Vanderbilt in the ReliaQuest Bowl, 11 a.m. Vandy is a 5.5-point favorite, and Searles, you have the honor of picking first in this one.
Oh, I'm ringing the Big Ten bell here hard. Ever since the Heisman ceremony, I don't know if there's a bigger anti-fan of Diego Pavia than me. I hope that Iowa rubs his face in the dirt over and over again, and I hope maybe he doesn't get back up. So yeah, go Iowa, because that kid pisses me off.
Tell us how you really feel.
See, I feel like I'm using the same logic of Diego Pavia and being what he felt like was a snub in the Heisman Trophy voting.
All
but
5'2" of him.
I think that like he just seems like a guy who feeds off of that kind of motivation. I think he's gonna come out there and have a big day against the Hawkeyes. So I've got Vandy.
Is Kyle waving the SEC flag?
No, he actually has the Hawkeyes. He's
Oh, wow.
a big Iowa guy. I guess.
Josh, I'm with you. I'm going with Vandy.
Yeah, I think Vandy just outscores Iowa. I don't think Iowa can put up the points to stick with Vandy.
All right, how about the college football playoff, the quarterfinal matchups? First one is the Cotton Bowl on New Year's Eve, Miami and Ohio State. So 6:30 on ESPN. Ohio State is a 9.5-point favorite. Josh?
Well, I talked about this last time we did picks about how the team coming off of a bye did not do well last year. So it makes me nervous to do this, but I've got to go with Ohio State. I just think they're a much better team.
And Kyle is?
He also has Ohio State.
I also have Ohio State.
Yeah, I think slow to go with Ohio State just because Miami didn't look great against Texas A&M, even though they won. But Ohio State, I think, is the better team.
Searles?
Yeah, OHIO. Like I said, I thought A&M was the better football team than Miami. They just got a little bit more ball bounced their way in that game, but I think Ohio State's just too much. Carson Beck's going to throw like 3 interceptions.
Well, New Year's Day should be fun as we've got 3 matchups in the college football playoff. Number 5, Oregon versus number 4, Texas Tech. Also got that bye in the first round in the Orange Bowl. Oregon is a 2.5-point favorite, 11 a.m. on ESPN. Kyle, I have Kyle picking first in this one, Josh.
He has the Red Raiders.
All right. You know what? I think I'm going to try to get one up on you guys. I'm going to go Oregon. Camden?
I'll go Texas Tech. That's fine. No
Searles?
reasoning.
I'm gonna go Oregon. Kind of the same reason like we talked about last year with the bye week. Like you said, Josh, this is their first time getting into the playoff. They've been feeling themselves a little bit, and I think that Oregon, coming off a battle-tested season, is going to be giving them all they can handle. So give me Oregon. Dan Lanning, baby.
Yeah, I thought I was going to maybe be swimming upstream on this one, but I'm going to go with the Ducks. It makes me a little bit nervous going against Texas Tech's defense. They're really good, but like I've been saying, I just think that they had the best of both worlds. Oregon did last week, being able to basically have a bye playing against who they did, and then still getting to kind of sharpen themselves up. So they have the tune-up that Texas Tech does not have.
All right, number 9, Bama against number 1, Indiana, 3 o'clock on ESPN. Indiana is a 6.5-point favorite. This, of course, in the Rose Bowl. I'm up first, and I'm going to wave the Big Ten flag, but also the number 1 overall seed, Indiana. Camden?
Yep, I got Indiana. Fernando Mendoza.
And Searles is an Indiana stan again, so
Always. Yep, don't even have to ask. Let's go. Tom Allen, baby.
Josh?
Love it. Yeah, I'm not going to pick against Indiana here. Maybe not for the rest of the playoff, but definitely not here. I'm going Hoosiers.
And I'm sure Kyle is
He
also
does.
in Indiana. All right. The last one that we are picking here, then we'll have our Husker question. Number 6, Ole Miss. Number 3, Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, 7 o'clock on ESPN on New Year's Day. Georgia is a 6.5-point favorite. Camden?
I'm going to go Ole Miss.
Oh.
I like the way Ole Miss played. I think they're trying to show that they can win without Kiffin, and this would be a statement win for them.
Searles?
I want to go Ole Miss here too, but that second quarter versus Tulane, I can't really get out of my head. It was not great. They didn't just run away with it. It took them a little longer to get going than I wanted to. So I'm going to think that Georgia just eventually outmuscles Ole Miss at the point of attack here. So go Dogs.
All right. I'm actually going to go with Camden. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling, kind of what we talked about with them having the game last week against Tulane, being able to be fresh. I've got the Rebels in this one, and then Kyle has Georgia.
I am also with the Bulldogs, so we are split on that one. All right, so back to having a Husker question this week. Josh, what do you have for us?
We do, and
what home cooking do you have now?
Well, and I already have my answer, obviously, and then Kyle gave me his answer, so we're split. So I hope that it's a good question. But,
okay.
All right, bowl game question. Will the combined run-pass ratio be more or less than 59.5% run?
That's so much math.
Okay,
Explain that to me like I'm
59.5% run.
five.
That's all
Come
you
on.
need to know. Yes or no? Over or
For
under?
both teams.
For both teams, yes, the combined. Nebraska and Utah. And for the record, I have under, and Kyle has the over on that.
So he thinks-
So it still could be more runs,
So
but it just won't be so lopsided, right?
Right.
Like,
So let's say yes. If there's a lot of runs, you're going to say over. If you think it's going to be more of a passing game, you're going to say under.
That's so hard because I think Utah's
why
going
it's
to
a good
run
question.
Utah's going to run the living hell out of the football. That's what they've done all year long. The Husker defense has struggled to stop it. Like I think they're going to run life without Emmett Johnson, though. That for me looks more like a pass happy attack than anything here. So I'm going to go the under. I'm going to go under.
Okay.
I'm going to also go the over because Utah is not good at stopping the run, and it sounds like those young running backs have had really good bowl practices, plus TJ's feet count for that, right?
Yeah, it's just runs. Yeah, so run if he scrambles.
I've also
whatever.
got scramble factored in.
Scrambles might screw that up.
Yeah.
I'll go over.
Oh, did I change your mind?
No,
I mean-
no, I'm not going to let you change my mind.
I don't know.
Maybe.
All right.
I didn't know either way. So I was like, we'll just go over.
I'm thinking about it. We got what, new right guard, right? Because Rocco's not playing.
Well, yards don't count. It's just running, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's just
I
it's your
feel like-
philosophy. How you're going to call the game.
How are you going to call the game?
But-
I think Dana wants to throw this thing out there with Emmett not being there, test some of these receivers out.
Well, when you talk about Utah's missing a bunch of their or will not have a bunch of their offensive linemen, so how does that affect
I think both tackles, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
we're both going to go in the first round. So praise be.
Well, Searles, you're back on Big Red Reaction this week, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll back Christmas Eve it with the crew. Hopefully, everyone hasn't had too many pops before.
New Year's Eve.
Big Red. New Year's Eve. Sorry, yeah, New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve with the crew. So yeah, one more go around here for 2025.
Well, how are you feeling about this matchup going into it?
I mean, I'm excited. I think this is a Utah team I've watched a ton. Actually, I know a lot about this Utah football team. I'm going to represent their center in the NFL draft. So I've been watching them a lot. They have very, very unique schematics of how they run the football, but a lot of it was predicated off Spencer Fanu and Caleb Lomu. So those two guys not playing on the edges, I'll be really interested to see what they can do. But I do think Nebraska should be able to run the football. You go watch the Arizona State game and how they got after them. So, but again, no Rocco up front, no Emmett Johnson. So it's just two completely different things. So I think Latif will be the X factor in this game. And if we can get this quarterback run game stopped for Utah.
All right, so I was going to ask you, because we do this on the podcast, but if Nebraska wins, the MVP will be who?
TJ Latif. If Nebraska wins, because he's going to have to be the one that has to create, rely on him on some zone reads, pulls. He's going to have to make some big-time throws down the field when they start loading up the box to stop the run. If we win, he will be the MVP.
All right, any other big-time matchups you're looking out for, especially on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I think it's really just about I'm looking for just the aggressiveness in which this defense plays with. If it's a difference of philosophy now that with Butler being gone, if there's anything that's like, hey, we're more downhill, we're more blitz heavy, we're more this, we're more that. You can't do a ton in a few weeks, but I just really think I'm really curious to see what the defensive philosophy going against this Utah run game is going to actually be.
I'm also curious to see how the offensive line looks. I know you got a lot of them back, a lot of them playing. Rocco's not, but Jeep Wade and Lonnie Teasley have been working with these guys, and so it's not going to be completely their philosophy and how they're going to do things, but they have been implementing some of that along the way. So I'll be curious to see how that translates to the offensive line in this one.
100%. I'm looking forward to seeing what Coach Wade and that crew has for them, and I've heard nothing but good things so far, so I'm only expecting better things to come.
All right. Well, good stuff as always. Look forward to hearing you back with Matt Coatney for Big Red Reaction one final time this Husker football season. And our Sports Nightly college football picks are brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. And those offices are where?
Always located in Lincoln and Columbus, Jess. They're always there, always open.
All right, good stuff. Jeremiah Searles, Josh Holkelman, and Camden Cohn here with us. And coming up next, we'll send things back. Nick Hanley going to rejoin us and take over anchoring our coverage here tonight on Sports Nightly.
Central Valley Ag is here to keep your animals healthy and thriving. Stop into the CVA Feed Store in West Point, Springview, Valentine, or Ainsworth with top brands like CVA Power, Purina, VitaFirm, and DuraFirm for cattle, pigs, horses, chickens, sheep, and even your dogs and cats. Enter by January 11th for a chance to win a $200 CVA gift card. Details at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
M Grills and Blazing Grill Works manufactures wood pellet and charcoal grills right here in Nebraska. M Grills Nebraska-made grills are fighting the battle against cheap disposable box store grills by focusing on quality and longevity. The All-American-made parts and heavy steel construction means you can cook reliably all year long, year after year. Support Nebraska manufacturing and get out of the disposable grill game with a high-performance grill from M Grills. You can find them online at mgrills.com. That's M as in Memorial, grills.com. Proud supporter of Husker Athletics.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at appliedconnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Final segment here. Nick Handley with you here on Sports Nightly. Again, thanks for being with us here on a Friday night. Kyle and Jessica and the entire gang, they are out there in Las Vegas. They just flew in today. Practice taking place earlier. You heard from Jessica and DB on segment or hour number 1. And so hopefully you had a chance to catch that and see how the team fared in their first practice out there in Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas, as they will be getting ready for the Vegas Bowl out in against Utah out in Las Vegas. That'll be Wednesday. Kickoff at 2:30 with the pregame at 10:30. Well, as they gave you their picks, I'm going to sneak mine in. It's been an up and down year for me. So again, take these for what they're worth. But I'm going to start in some of the Big Ten matchups. And teams, bowl games involving Big Ten teams in this one. We'll start with the Pinstripe Bowl on Saturday. I'm going to take Penn State to edge out Clemson. I like Penn State, the way that they've kind of finished this season. Obviously a team that had such high hopes and just not the season that they would have. They lost a coach in the process, getting fired with James Franklin, now over at Virginia Tech. But yeah, I like Penn State's resolve. I'll take the Nittany Lions. I'm really interested to see the Matt Campbell era at Penn State. But Penn State beating Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl. Alamo Bowl on Tuesday featuring USC and TCU. I like USC in this one as well. I'm going to take the Trojans to cover the 6.5 points as well. I think they win by 10 over TCU. In the ReliaQuest Bowl on Wednesday, game that will be played on the same day as Nebraska and Utah in the Vegas Bowl, is going to be Iowa taking on Vanderbilt. I'm going to take Vandy to win this one. I got it's not even the Pava stuff. I think this is a good Vandy team. I think they like the spot that they're in. So I'm gonna roll with Vandy in this one. Again, they might have a little chip on their shoulder. Music City Bowl, Tennessee, I'm taking over Illinois. In the Cotton Bowl college football quarterfinal, also on Wednesday, I will take Ohio State to beat Miami in that one. I think it's going to be a great game, though. I think this one might be a final. Oh, gosh, Ohio State, I know you don't want to hear this, but maybe a field goal at the last moment, at least lining up for that. Yeah, I know. Bad memories. The Orange Bowl on Thursday. I'm going to take Texas Tech over Oregon in the Rose Bowl, the college football quarterfinal. Indiana, I've got outlasting Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. I'm going to take Ole Miss over Georgia. And let's see, on Saturday, the Texas Bowl, I got LSU over Houston. And in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, I'm going to take BYU over Georgia Tech. There are your picks. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We will have another Sports Nightly coming your way this week. Some reports out in Las Vegas, getting ready for the Las Vegas Bowl. We've got Husker women's hoops, Husker men's hoops next week as well. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and have a fantastic weekend. Until next time, have a good night. You've been listening to Sports Nightly, brought to you by Woodhouse, who's been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Luxury meets performance at Infinity of Omaha. Right now, during the Once in a Wintertime event, you'll receive 1.9% APR for 60 months or 3.9% APR for 72 months on the 2026 Infinity QX80 Sport. Visit our showroom or browse our inventory online at infinityofomaha.com. With approved credit, tax title license extra, when financed through Infinity Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. And number T9431113. Offer expires December 31st, 2025. See dealer for details.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you